everybody and welcome back to another On The Table video, guys. Today I have got something truly spectacular to show you. It's a project I've been working on for a pretty long time, a project that I've been pretty hush-hush about, and only a select few people actually know what it is that I've been building. You guys have seen snippets on the video, on the channel. You guys have seen snippets on the Instagram. If you're not on the Instagram, guys, by the way, a link is in the doobly-doo, so you can follow that. Also, whilst you're down there, don't forget to give this video a like, as it helps the channel grow, and lets me know how many people are actually engaging. But without further ado, guys, I'm going to show you what the project is that I've been doing. So, I wanted to do a big project. The big project that I have done is I have done this. And there you have it, guys, as if by magic, an Ordinatus has appeared. Well, this is my own take on an Ordinatus engine. For those of you that don't know, guys, Ordinatus engines are truly gigantic constructs of the Adeptus Mechanicus. They basically have Titan weapons on them, and they are designed and based, well, they're named after the planet that they're from, mostly. But this is what I've come up with, because I really wanted an Ordinatus for such a long time. It would make a cool centerpiece for the army. However, I couldn't afford a Forge World one because they're just too expensive. So I decided, I know, I've got enough bits. I'll make one out of bits. And that is what I have done. It essentially breaks down into 4 pieces. You have the front command pulpit. You have the... oh dear, I've just snapped something off. Great. That is not a good start. What have I just snapped off there? Don't actually know. Anyway, it has the main death ray, which is here. It has the death ray kind of connector, kind of mounting system, and then the main hull of it. And just look at it, guys. Is it not stupendous how big this thing is? I am actually going to connect it all with magnets. It's just like this at the moment, just because I don't have really anywhere to put it. It's too big. It's going to make an awesome centerpiece for my army when I do it. When I do it for armies on parade. Just look at this beautiful glow up here. We've got some awesome Volkites, and I'll go over all the individual bits. It's going to be a reasonably long video, this, because I've got a lot to talk about, because it took so long to actually put this thing together. First and foremost, we're going to talk about... In fact, can I get a little bit closer so I can get some zooms and stuff on this? So, we're going to talk about the awesome little command pulpit here. Really nice design. I've shown this point to you guys in a previous video. Really nice in regards to how I made it. It's double the Chimera chassis, Chimera tracks. It's got a beautiful little set of command consoles in there. It just looks really good. I talked about this before, so I'm not going to linger on this particular one too much. Also, guys, you might notice here that this is actually not painted. That's because you're never going to see this part, and this is the bit where it's going to be glued, which is why, again, it's not painted. It's just going to fit in quite comfortably under there. But guys, just look at this thing. It looks so cool from the front. I'll try and get some different shots of it later on for you guys as well, because it's just so goddamn big. But the command pulpit actually allows me to place a miniature inside it, as if he's the driver, as if he's piloting it, which is pretty cool. We're going to move along the vehicle. We're going to move along to the actual hull of it, as I talked about the gun in a previous video as well. This hull is actually a really... Oh god, you can't even see it, guys. I'm not even pointing the camera at it. Jesus Christ. Let's just zoom out. I've got to get so far back to actually get this whole thing in there. My camera's just wobbling around all over the place. And it's terribly unprofessional, but by god, guys, I wanted to show this off for quite some time. So, this is the hull. It's made of a Baneblade, not a standard Baneblade hull. In fact, this is actually a reclaimed project from many years ago when I was actually living on my own. This is the body that was my Orc Mega Fortress. I thought to myself, you know, I'm going to rip it apart, I'm going to put it back together again somewhat. I used, essentially to put it back together, I used some terrain. So this terrain here is basically just a 4x4 block made out of the Sector Mechanicus terrain pieces. If I flip it upside down, you'll see it's there, and it basically goes, it's just a block, as you can see just on there. I've not painted the underneath because no one's ever going to see the underneath, to my shame. But yeah, so it's like that. It has some support struts here underneath to basically just help support this piece. Now this piece is made from 3 support legs from the Aquila, is it the Aquila landing pad? It's got 1 full one and then 2 bottoms, because I needed it to come out further enough to give it a bit more length. And then we've got some cool little gothic kind of looking skull I don't know, windows on here. We've got some cool little Mechanicus little sensor arrays. Got some Adeptus Mechanicus logos here from my many Titan kits. Moving on to the side, we've got some really cool iconography here. It made me able to actually go to town and do some AdMech banners. I know it's not a very AdMech thing having banners, but I quite like it. It's cool. It makes me able to show off the transfers and stuff. Moving on to the twin Volkites that it's got. Those eagle-eyed viewers, those eagle-eyed hobbyists over there will know that these are actually Sentinel missile launchers with the missiles cut out of him and sprayed with a really, really day glow. They're really, really day glow paint, and they're just the right kind of size and shape for some cool sponson mounted Volkites, which is really, really good. I like that a lot. Moving on to the top. Oh, you can't even see because again I need to zoom out. Sorry guys, I do apologise. It's a very, very disorganised video. Moving on to the top, we've got two little hatches that lead down into the interior hull of the beast. Got some cool little weathered transfers here on the sides as well. I do enjoy my transfers nowadays. Moving on to the back. The back is really cool. I stuck for the actual fuel tanks because they were kind of really stuck on, and I couldn't rip them off without actually ripping the entire track assembly apart. They're so glued on. I don't know what I glued them on with in the past, but they're very, very stuck. And I added some extra ones on this side as well, from the other Baneblade kit that I had. The back reactor here is actually made out of a part of a drop pod, just assembled in a different way. And we've got some cool little exhausts here from, again, the Sector Mechanicus terrain. But that allows it to have this on there, and it fits up quite nicely. And I'm in two minds whether or not to glue this as well, just because it's going to make it easier to transport. This has actually got a really powerful neodymium magnet in it, the same as there's a really powerful neodymium magnet in here, and that just allows that to snap on there. These are all pretty much lined up perfectly on the actual rim of the... this is from a galvanic servo hauler, and it allows me to obviously adjust how it wants to go. Let's just put that on there, and the cool thing about it is as well, I have a little platform up here, so again, if I want to put another model, this is for Amazon Parade purposes, I can put another little guy up there, just again to display a miniature, if I wish. But yeah, guys, it's really, really cool. The Ordinatus Ulator is what I tried to emulate with this, with the kind of crazy cannon. I think it's a very... It definitely looks 40k enough, it's definitely grimdark enough, it's definitely crazy enough, it's kind of cobbled together enough, but it doesn't look orky. It looks more Imperial, which is kind of weird because I've come to realise that Adeptus Mechanicus are basically, if you're creating and converting for them, they're basically the orcs of the Imperium. You can kind of bash any kind of techno-gubbins together as long as it looks like it does work, because the thing with Adeptus Mechanicus is your stuff has to look like it actually does work and have some belonging and have some kind of way that it would do its thing. Whereas orc stuff, you can just smash whatever you want together and it just say that it works because of the warg energy. So Mechanicus, you kind of have to be a bit more refined with your designs. I'm trying to think of any kind of like issues and trials that I had with this. The main thing really was getting this hull wide enough, and it just so happened that I looked out with the terrain being pretty much exactly what I needed. It was really complete chance when I started building this that this was wide enough so that this could fit down the middle and just give that cool kind of elongated tank design. Yeah, so I was pretty happy about that. I think I might go in at some point and kind of like fill this void with something, but as it stands, when the death ray is on the back of it, you can't actually see down into it because it overlaps. Let's just spin it around so you guys can see it from this side. One of the things that I really, really enjoyed about this project was building all the little components. So it was all built, not in a day, it was built in like several stages. I think the first bit that I built was... what was it now? I built the main hull... No, I built the command parapet, the command pulpit first, then it was the death ray, but then I added individual bits on the death ray, so I built this thing here out of the plasma generator. I was undecided at first why I wanted the end barrel to look, which is why it kind of ended up as this kind of cool amalgamation of parts. I built the kind of like targeting auspex here separately. Speaking of which, let's just get a zoom in on that targeting auspex. Just look at the detail on that. There's so much stuff going on. We've got bits from AdMech kits, bits from Imperial Knight kits, bits from Sentinel kits, Space Marine kits. all kinds of stuff. It's just a beautiful amalgamation of parts, and I had so much fun building this thing. It's kind of like one of those labours of love, because it's such a shame that I'll probably never ever field this in a game unless I'm doing like a custom game with someone. But you know what? It's going to look amazing for Armies on Parade. Not that there's probably going to be an Armies on Parade this year, a physical one, and I refuse to take part in the digital one that they did like last year, because it's not my jam. I'd rather have people come and look at my stuff in person at the local hobby store. But that being said, guys, I would absolutely love to know what you guys think of this Ordinatus, and what should I call it? I was thinking like the Ordinatus Dominator or something like that. I mean, my Adeptus Mechanicus lore, I did a bit of writing on that a while ago, and I decided to have them from a planet called Ignis Gamma or Ignis Alpha or something like that. But yeah, guys, I would love to know, and if you want to put a name in the doobly-doo, I will consider name suggestions down there in the doobly-doo for this massive thing. Just look at it, it's just an absolute majestic bucket of bolts. It is a majestic creation of AdMech design, and I'm super happy with it, guys. I really am. Love to hear your thoughts on it. You know, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. I'd love to hear to hear both arguments for and against this beast. But obviously, I made it. I love it, and I'm happy with it. So, guys, without further ado, I will leave you. This has been a fantastic journey making this thing, and I kind of wish that I hadn't kind of kept you in the dark about it. I kind of wish that I'd kind of like brought you along, but it was more of a passion project. I kind of wanted to do it at my own pace without having the pressure of filming a video or filming it under a high speed or filming it under whatever circumstances. I just wanted to do it. So guys, let me know what you think, and I will see you guys in the next video. We've got more awesome stuff coming up, guys, so carry on watching, and I'll see you guys again. See you now, and goodbye.